Are you somebody who has tried it all before? You've been on the journey, you've done self-development work, affirmations, meditations, you've done therapy, you've been to retreats, and yet it feels that no matter what you do, something still isn't working. You still feel yourself sabotaging yourself, or you feel that things are not working out for whatever reason, and you're just not sure what is really going on. Well, if that is you, then this video is for you, because in this video we will be talking about the silent saboteur. What is it that has been keeping you looping in patterns that are unhelpful? And it's not because you're not trying, but somehow, no matter what you do, things just don't shift. Well, the silent saboteur is your nervous system. And now, if you think about it, our nervous system is really the foundation of who we are as a human being. When you think about when a sperm um, enters into the egg, if you look at what the sperm looks like, it is essentially a head and a tail. And if you take away the body and you really look at what is the driving system, the operating system of our body, it is our nervous system, which is made up of our brain and our spinal cord, which also includes all of our different nerves. And so essentially the nervous system is the operating system of our body computer program, if we can put it that way. And so if we have issues within our nervous system, then that is going to play all kinds of effects on our mental state, our emotional state, and even our physical state of being, because the nervous system is essentially the electric wiring that connects our brain to our body. It is through the nervous system that the electromagnetic signals that are sent from our brain into our body. So if I have a thought, I want to use my hand, that thought is originating in my brain, but signals are being sent through my spine and through my nervous system so that I'm able to use my hand. So really, in order for you to get where it is that you want to go, what you really need to focus on is the nervous system. And that has been the missing link, because the nervous system will, as I said earlier, affect our mental, emotional, and physical state of being. So I've written a few notes here. So it's really not your mindset which is the problem, it is your wiring. It is not a mindset problem, but a body set problem. And this is the problem with most people who go to heal their trauma or to deal with challenges and issues that are arising in their lives. What happens is that they focus so much on the mental state and they focus a lot on the emotional state, but very unfrequently, should I say, do they really pay attention to what is going on in the body. Because just as much as the mind has its own consciousness, the body also has its own consciousness. And the body's consciousness is way more advanced than we really think about, because just like we don't have to think about our heart breathing, we don't have to think about our heart beating, sorry, we don't have to think about breathing, we don't have to think about our blood circulating or pumping in our heart, we don't have to think about our hormones that are moving through the different parts of our body. All of this is being controlled by the subconscious mind, which is very much connected to the nervous system. So the nervous system is really, its key role is to keep us safe. So if at any point in your life you felt unsafe, anytime you felt fear, anytime you felt rejection, this could have been in adulthood as well as in childhood. So think back to your childhood. What was your childhood like? Did you live a childhood that was extremely peaceful and there was no stress? Or did you live in a household where there was a lot of stress? Perhaps you lived in a household where there was a lot of shouting going on, or perhaps one parent was absent, or maybe one of your parents had anger issues and you were never sure how their mood was going to be. Perhaps you were never sure if your parents were going to support you. Perhaps you had a very strict teacher and you were never sure if you were going to get shouted at. Every single time you perceived a threat or you felt unsafe. So perhaps even if a childhood friend made fun of you and you felt humiliated, or perhaps One day you came dressed to school differently than everybody else. All of those feelings that you would have had would have affected your nervous system, and they would have made your nervous system contract. And so you see, just like as I always say, just how whenever negative thoughts arise in our mind and we can easily say, oh, I'm not going to think about that thing. I'm just going to sweep it under the carpet and hope that it will go away. You see, what happens is, as much as it's easy for us to push the thoughts away, those thoughts, those negative thoughts will have generated negative emotions, and those negative emotions and negative thoughts would have caused our nervous system to contract. So what we really need to do is we need to practice different practices that are going to make our nervous system feel calm again, that are going to make our body feel safe. Because no matter how many affirmations you continue repeating, if your body doesn't feel safe, then you can repeat them endlessly and nothing will ever change, because your nervous system has become so contracted that it doesn't feel safe enough to embody this new version of you, this new reality that you are trying to anchor in for yourself. So I've written here, your thoughts are really just symptoms of something deeper, because if your body isn't feeling safe, then your body is going to, or should I say your mind, is going to start generating negative thoughts because you do not feel safe in your body. This is why there are many people who find it difficult to meditate for long periods of times, and it's not really because their mind is really busy. What it is that they don't feel comfortable within their body, and if they don't feel comfortable within their body, then their mind is going to start generating all kinds of thoughts so that they can run away and not really want to feel the body. Because what's happening in today's day and age, why most of us have difficulty really, and it's not because we don't want to do these things, but the reason why we have difficulty staying consistent is because we do not feel comfortable within our body. We do not feel fully at ease within our body. So our nervous system literally decides what it is that we can believe. It decides how safe you feel to take risks, how much you can receive in terms of finances, in terms of abundance, and even in terms of love. Because if at some point in your childhood, let's say one day, your caregiver or your parent didn't show up for you in the way you needed, you might have developed the belief to say, it is not safe, I am not loved, or I am not good enough to be loved, I am not good enough. And most of us have that programming of, I am not enough, I am not good enough, it is not safe enough for me to receive love. Because maybe at some point in your time, in your life, your childhood or adulthood, you were betrayed, somebody didn't show up for you in the way you needed, they didn't support you in the way you needed, and as a result of that, you will have developed a belief that it is not safe for me to be loved. Nobody loves me. And as a result of that, the nervous system, the body would have contracted. We would have closed off our heart, closed off ourselves, because we didn't feel that it was safe enough. And as a result of that, today, even if we are repeating all these affirmations saying, I am loved, I am enough, if your body doesn't feel that, it's not going to happen. So there are some people out there who say fake it till you make it, but I don't agree with this, because your body cannot fake it. You have to release the resistance in your nervous system and your body in order for your mind to accept what it is you're saying. Because remember, the mind and body work together. And interestingly enough, I think it's 95% of our behavior is driven from our subconscious. Now, our subconscious, remember, a lot of the time our subconscious it's there, but we're not aware of what's there until something happens. So for example, something might happen in your life and you might behave in a certain way, and then you might be like, oh, I'm not really sure why I behaved like that. Well, it's because of the deep beliefs that you hold within your subconscious. And now what's interesting is that I think the majority of our subconscious beliefs are formed between the time we're born and age 7. And so when you think about who we really are as a child and how as children, our brains are not anywhere near being fully developed by the age of 7, and we still have a very limited understanding and a very limited perspective of the world because we don't fully yet even know who we are. I mean, even in adulthood, most of us don't really know who we are yet. And so, as a result of the beliefs that those beliefs that we forged between the time we were born and age 7, we are still operating as adults from those same sets of beliefs. So it's very important to go back and pay attention to what was going on in our childhood, because all of us have experienced some form of childhood trauma. And let's just reiterate what trauma is. Trauma is an overwhelming situation, is a negative situation that takes place that will have an overwhelming impact on our nervous system, because this will create an overwhelming amount of emotions. Now these emotions can be fear, sadness, grief, shock, or whatever it might be, but that overwhelming amount of emotions that we don't really know how to regulate in the moment, they will have affected our nervous system. So the ways in which we know that our nervous system is being impacted, and I'm sure many of you out there have heard of fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. These are the different responses that our nervous system has in response to trauma. So when we go into freeze, it means that, for example, we can go into procrastination, we can have feelings of helplessness, we can have feelings of limitations. When we are in fight or flight, we just don't really want to deal with anything. We want to run away. We don't really want to deal with our problems. We feel that it is unsafe for us to do that. Or fawn, which is essentially when we become a people pleaser. And we become people pleasers because we have built the belief that it is not safe for me to be who I am. I have to consistently pretend to be somebody else just so that this person likes me, so that it is safe for me to be in this place. So these are the mechanisms, and these mechanisms are very much connected to our vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is the main cranial nerve that is running through the body and will have an effect on our mood regulation. It will have an impact on our ability to digest. It will have an effect on our immune system function. So we really want to maintain good vagus nerve and nervous system health, because this is not only impacting our physical health and our mental health, but also our emotional health and our ability to regulate our emotions. So as I said, it's really not a mindset problem that you have, but a body set problem. So yes, because the nervous system is really there to make sure that we are that we are always feeling safe. So as a result of that, what practices you really want to do in order to stop these unconscious self-sabotaging mechanisms that keep creeping in is to regulate the nervous system, is to help you come back to a state of rest and relaxation. And so this is why so many people have difficulty actually resting and relaxing. So even at nighttime, perhaps you have difficulty sleeping, perhaps you have difficulty digesting, perhaps when you're on holiday, you find it difficult to sit still and just relax and take it easy. The reason for that is because of your nervous system. The nervous system is stuck in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And so it takes conscious relaxation and conscious effort to bring the nervous system back into a state of peace, so that once your body feels peace, your thoughts are automatically going to be more positive. Your emotions are going to automatically be more positive, because when you feel good in your body, you feel good in your mind. So yes, as I've said here, the state of your nervous system will determine what reality you can access. Because think about it, if you're constantly in fight, flight, freeze, if you're in fear, if you're worried about taking risks, then you're going to miss out on a whole bunch of opportunities. You're going to miss out on connecting with people in a more loving way. You're not going to be able to have as vulnerable and connected relationships as when you're feeling safe in your body. Because if you're not feeling safe in your body, then you're constantly waiting for the shoe to drop. You're constantly waiting for something to go wrong. And as a result of that, that's an unconscious pattern that you'll also be having in your mind, in that you're always looking for something to go wrong. You're always looking for that negative thing. And unconsciously, what's happening with those unconscious thought patterns is that you're unconsciously cursing yourself. You're unconsciously spelling yourself. And the thing is, as human beings, we are mostly prone to be negative. It is easier for us to look for what is going wrong than for us to see what is going right in our lives. And the nervous system has a lot to do with that. So even what opportunities you call in, somebody who, let's look at successful people, for example, they believe in themselves. They see their worth. They know that they are good enough, and as a result of that, they are successful. Now, they might be successful in business, but they might not be successful in their relationships because they might have beliefs that it is not safe for me to connect with people. It is not safe for me to be vulnerable. And if we do not feel comfortable being vulnerable with others, then that makes us emotionally unavailable, and it then makes it very difficult for us to have deep connecting relationships. So imbalances in the nervous system stem from childhood trauma, but also every time you felt unsafe, rejected, humiliated, which then built, and as a result of that, then we build protective patterns that are now limiting you in adulthood. So that's exactly what I've been explaining, is if in childhood we were like, it is not safe for whatever reason, then the behavior that we will have developed is to continue protecting ourselves from those perceived threats that we experienced as a child. So in science, we talk of something called neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity is the fact that the brain, neural pathways in the brain, can be changed at any age. So whether you are 70, 80, 90, or 100 years old, it is possible for you to change your behavior by changing the neural pathways within the brain. Now, the neural pathways in our brain are very much connected to our beliefs. So beliefs affect thoughts, thoughts affect emotions, emotions affect behavior, and therefore also our body. So you can see how thoughts, emotions, and our physical sensations are very much interconnected. So regardless of who you are, regardless of what kind of life you have lived, regardless of what kind of life you are living, this video is also to let you know that it is possible to change. You are not broken, my friend. You have the ability to change your life around by changing your beliefs and by regulating your nervous system. So really, once you start to change the way you feel in your body, once you start to regulate your nervous system, then you will automatically change your life. You will get rid of these unconscious sabotaging patterns that you are not aware of that lie in your nervous system. So to close out this video, I'd just like to show you a short practice here as to how you can regulate your nervous system and how we know that our nervous system is becoming imbalanced. Just think about it this way. When some kind of perceived threat takes place, when you feel unsafe, perhaps maybe you are worried that your boss is going to shout at you, or you're worried that you have a client pitch and perhaps you're not ready, or you're worried about how your client will receive the pitch that you're giving them, and as a result maybe you start to feel anxiety, you start to feel a bit of stress. That is an indication that your nervous system is starting to shut down, because when our nervous system shuts down, this affects our creativity, it affects our intuition, it affects our ability to remain open and to connect with other people. It essentially makes us want to hide, be swallowed up by the ground, and literally run away. So I invite you to close your eyes, and I'll show you how next time you're feeling overwhelmed, this is a practice that you can do that is naturally going to calm down your nervous system and help you feel a bit more balanced. So I invite you to close your eyes. And so what I want you to do is I want you to just inhale deeply, count 4, well actually let's count 6 breaths as you inhale. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So perhaps you might have felt that inhaling for 6 was too much. So actually what I want you to do is inhale in for 4 through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And as you exhale, I want you to exhale through your mouth, making a HA sound. And I really want you to focus more on your exhale than your inhale. So your exhale, the longer you exhale, you see what happens is the longer we exhale, the body will naturally start to feel that it is not getting in enough oxygen. So as a result of that, we will naturally be called to take in a much deeper breath because we feel starved of oxygen. So you want to be inhaling for 4 counts through your nose and exhaling through your mouth, making a HA sound and really elongating that exhale. And what you'll notice is by exhaling through the mouth and making that sighing sound, what we're really doing here is that we're starting to tone our vagus nerve, that cranial nerve that is connected to all the organs in our body. That is what we are trying to soothe. And actually, humming is known scientifically to regulate the vagus nerve and to calm down the nervous system. So remembering you want to inhale for 4 through the nose and exhale through the mouth, making a sigh sound. And really just exhale for as long as you can go. If you think I can't go any longer, push for a few more seconds. Your body actually can always go a little bit longer than the mind will tell you. So that is a practice that you can do at any time that you are feeling overwhelmed, that you are feeling agitated, that you are feeling stressed or anxious. Really just breathing is a very, very, very powerful tool to help you calm down. And so if you have a big decision to make and you're feeling really stressed, just breathing this way for 3, 4, 5, 6, up to 10 rounds of breath, you will notice that you feel totally, totally different. So if you practice this breath, I would love to hear from you in the comments what you noticed from before practicing the breath to after you practiced it. So I hope that this video has been helpful. If you have stayed here till the end, I want you to know that we, the Hanker Sisters, we provide all kinds of different tools, sessions, private retreats to help you break these unconscious patterns, to help you become the absolute best version of yourself, and for you to just remember that you are already perfect as you are. You are not broken. You simply need some rewiring, and we are here to help you on that path.